Aloha, my name is Jennifer O'Neill.
And I'm Michelle Snyder.
Welcome to the That's Not Normal podcast, where we unpack the mysteries you were told not to believe in. Welcome back, as we are going to talk about the relationship between money and your energetic frequency.
Yeah.
So there should be no crying today, right?
I hope not. Yeah.
I think we picked a safe subject. I think we're good on this one. That being said, I thought it was a good subject to cover because it's been coming up over and over again with people I've been working with, clients, things of that nature. And I think it's just always good to cover money energy, anyways, because it has such a profound effect on people's lives in a way that I think that they don't notice near as much. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it feels like money drives the ship a little bit, you know? I mean, your quality of life, the experiences that you can go, afford to do, your well-being, where you live. I mean, society is all, I feel like, evolves around money.
Right. And that's kind of my point. Clearly, money plays an important role in our lives. We know this. We understand it. It pays for food and your lights and your house and your car and all that. We get that. That's reality. However, there's a money energy and a frequency that is very important that you align with in order to have a proper flow. That's the thing that I think gets overlooked, because when it comes to money, I think it amplifies fear and worry in everybody. It amplifies not enough. It amplifies insecurity, instability. So any iota of a negative feeling you might have towards money, because it is an important aspect of our life, I feel like it amplifies any type of negative emotion mostly. Now, we're wonderfully grateful when it's not amplifying that emotion, but everything has to be working on all cylinders in order for that to not happen. And that's just not the reality of life at this moment in time, or for most people. And if you have your money situation great, then you might learn some things to amplify that as well here, because I did want to talk about how you shift the relationship between your energetic frequency and money energy. How do you affect that? Because there's a lot of talk about manifestation and how to draw into your life the things that you were talking about. But there is a component that is easily missed when you're talking about manifesting things, and it needs to be there. You have to have the knowledge of what we're going to share today in order to correctly manifest or work money energy the way that you would like it to work. And it's something that I think that most people wouldn't even think about. They wouldn't even relate the two together. So I think it's going to be very valuable, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when it comes to your money frequency, everything starts from inside out. And I feel that people, they have this habit of 3D thinking, and this is where we get into the 3D thinking versus multidimensional thinking, where they view money outside of themselves. They view money energy as disconnected, sort of, in essence. Like, what I mean by the disconnection is that they don't feel like they have much control. They don't feel like that they have much say in how much money is flowing in and flowing out. They don't know the process in which it flows in and flows out energetically. And so I think you end up hoarding money and hoarding money energy in essence, which then is going to cause you a lot of long-term issues. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense. I've always thought of, if you hold on to something too tightly, you're causing a
Right.
lot of restriction, money
Right.
can't flow. I mean, it
Mhm.
isn't called currency for nothing, it's
Right.
energy. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that people do understand this, but what I wanted to talk about today was something very significant that I noticed started showing up on the scans that I've been doing. Um, when I've been working with some people in the scans, the energy scans that I've been doing, when I've been running reports on those, People have noticed a lot of factors that are causing their energy, their personal frequency to be off balance. Now, I'm going to skip ahead in this story because a couple of the people who I recently did the scans on, those people were actively working just to shift their energetic frequency. That's it. They had no money intention involved or no other alternative thought process besides, I want to get myself in the best shape energetically that I possibly can and see how that shifts things in my life. And those people who took that and ran with it, the funny thing is, I started seeing across the board, their money started to shift almost immediately. Money flow started coming in, business rose. So these people were entrepreneurial people. Their business rose, it amplified. And they were quite shocked because that wasn't their focal point, right? The focal
Yeah.
point was to balance their energetic frequency. And it wasn't even to raise their energetic frequency. It was just to balance their energetic frequency.
Was
And
it
as
more on, like, the health side of things? Like, trying to balance any health issues that were showing up in the scans?
well, I mean,
Or
what was
just habit?
showing up, I mean, somewhat, but what was actually showing up was a lot of emotional stuff
Mm,
that then was manifesting in the physical body. So, the way that these scans work and the way that Chinese medicine works is your emotional state, which is very much your spiritual being, your spiritual essence. Um, that is a large part of where your emotional state exists, your emotional frequency. It was causing them some physical issues, and it showed up. And it was like, here's where you're not getting a break, here's where you're not healing. And I'm just going to share some of the top things with you that cause problems, whether you have a scan or don't have a scan. They are repetitively showing up, and that is overworking, stress, not taking time, and as far as rest and relaxation, and overthinking. These are things that really mess up your energetic flow. They insanely mess up your energetic flow. So when it comes to overthinking, you cause this chaotic energy within the body, and it's not flowing in a very nice movement. It's not flowing like a nice river. It's just like chaos within the energetic flow. When you're under stress, you have a very restrictive energy flow. So that's not good either.
yeah.
When you are overworking and you're not getting any rest, that would be like consistently exercising from the minute that you wake up until the minute that you go to bed, and then you do it all over again, and you do not allow your muscles or any of your body to relax and rest and then regenerate. And most people know, whether you work out or don't work out, that there needs to be a recovery time when you're being physical. There, it has to be there. Your muscles need to repair, your cells need to repair. There are things that have to repair within the body in order to stay healthy. Well, there are things that you need to repair and restore energetically. And when you are overworking all the time and you are in burnout mode, you are not allowing your energetic system to repair itself. And that causes an insane amount of problems within your energy and then within your physical body, because they are very closely linked. Your energetic system talks to your physical body, and it provides the physical body with a very important nourishment aspect that it needs. It needs to have clean energy, pure energy, flowing energy move through the body that is required in order for the physical body to work properly. So when you don't allow that to happen because you're pushing through, and when you're pushing through, like when you're overthinking, when you are overworking yourself, in my experience, most of those do correlate to money fears and money worries.
Mhm.
Would you say that that was
Yeah.
what you noticed the most too? Because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't really know any other reason people really overwork themselves unless that they're trying to get like a project done or something that they're like inventing something, I guess I would say. I don't, there's no real other reason that people work themselves to burnout.
Nobody loves doing it. So as a business
No.
owner, I can tell you
Yes.
that there are times that, there's fears and you say yes to a project, or you might take on too many things that you really don't truly have time for because you're like,
Mhm.
I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from. Especially as a freelancer, I would say being a freelancer, there is
Absolutely.
no steady, unless you have a
No.
client set up that's like continuous,
Right.
which I've got a few of those and those are fine, but it's like you never know where your next paycheck is coming from.
Yeah, it's hard to be an entrepreneur or be a freelancer and not be affected by some concerns or worries. That's normal. What I'm talking about is people tend to start obsessing about the fears and worries, and they don't refocus their energy in a way that we're allowing it to flow and we're allowing it to repair itself. Therefore, we don't have to micromanage everything in our life, right?
Yeah, I feel like I'm straddling the line of trying to like have a healthy energy with it, but then also it's like alleviating any of those fears. But it's like money right now isn't my biggest concern. Like I feel like it's always going to keep
Yes,
coming. It's time
it's
that
time,
is my problem.
but time's your problem because money was the issue to start with.
Yes.
Am I wrong, right or wrong? Yes, exactly. That's my point. Exactly. So when me and you were talking about it, I was noticing some things because when you are doing a podcast such as this, or you're trying to learn how to adjust your money energy or how to adjust your frequency in a way that they can align more properly, it can be incredibly overwhelming. You're like, well, do I got to do visualization at night, meditation during this time, do my bills at this time? Like, just make sure I'm not worried. Like, what do I do? It starts to become very overwhelming. But there's really 3 points that you want to focus on. And it's kind of the trifecta of one single thing, which is self care. And people are probably going to be like, oh, geez, and roll their eyes from the minute that I said that because I'm not in love with that word again because it's overused.
Yeah.
However, what that means to me is that your focus is on your primary bodies, meaning physical, energetic. You have an internal focus of managing your own energetic system. I do feel that most people are trying to manage their energetic frequency from the outside. It's super common. It's more common than not. In fact, if people are doing the opposite, I'm kind of confused. I'm like, whoa, that's new. So everybody puts their energy and their focus towards their external environment, and they try to adjust things on that level, and they try to make choices that would align with what they're desiring. But that's not how energy works, and it's not how the universe works. So that's not going to work at all. And it definitely isn't going to work when it comes to money flow. So, what I was talking about when I was talking about the scans and the people who started generating more money, and I mean quickly, within weeks, easy, that was something that became their primary focus was their personal energetic frequency, because what they noticed on the scans, which is where the scans are very cool, is they had a visual that literally said, this is going to cause you long-term problems if you don't make these adjustments. And because they're the type of people that they are, they just wanted to try to do what they could to be in the healthiest place that they could be energetically, emotionally, physically, etc. And they were not big things that they changed. So here's the things that you will want to work on really specifically is one, you will want to work on your physical body. And two, you're going to want to work on your energetic body. And three, you're going to want to work on your belief system. So it's the trifecta effect of working internally and working with energy in a way that is allowing it to flow properly. We're amplifying our energy, but it starts from inside. So it's like you're making all the fine tuning adjustments for your radar, your antenna, your, I don't know, your satellite, and then it projects out a frequency that then aligns or doesn't align with the universe. But you want to make these fine tune adjustments within your own satellite so that it can speak properly and work properly with the other energetic flow. So let's talk about the physical aspect real quickly. The physical aspect is going to be very important, especially if you're spiritually dominant. And that means if you're very heavy into spiritual work, um, for instance, I'm easily spiritually dominant because this is what I do for a living. So it takes a primary role in my life. And that is something that I need to be very aware of in order to bring balance. Because remember, this is not about raising your frequency. This is about bringing balance into your life with your spiritual and energetic body and your physical body. It's about bringing the energies in balance. That's what we're looking for. So in order to balance, if you're spiritually dominant, you need to bring more physicality into your life typically. So that's going to be things like walking, exercise, things that are movement, stretching, all of those things. People don't like to do that. It is so crazy to me, the resistance that people have to moving their body. They would rather do anything, legitimately
Easier to
anything
be
than moving.
lazy.
What?
It's just easier to be lazy, and I was that
Oh
way
my.
forever. Like, I would never consistently worked out in my entire life, but I can proudly say that for the last several months, I don't even remember when I started,
Yes.
that I've been working out consistently.
Right. And it's something that I have to do. For those of you who have been listening to me for a while, I literally work out daily. I've been working out again consistently for probably 10 years because I didn't want flabby arms. I wanted to be able to move when my grandkids got older. I wanted to be able to do physical things, but it turned into something very different. It turned into the balance aspect for me. And when I realized that my schedule, the one that I had, I wasn't gaining the balance properly, I upped my exercise. So for me in particular, I had to up it to every day. That doesn't mean that other people need to, but it's being aware of your own balance.
Yeah.
Then there's the aspect of eating better than you are not. So eating as much non-processed foods as possible, things of that nature. But it doesn't mean eating it all the time because you're just not going to do that. It's just not realistic. It means eating better, what, 55%, 60% more than you're eating not good. So that's going to be another physical thing that you're going to want to pay attention to. So, like diet and movement. Okay.
Yeah.
Then, when we get into the emotional aspect, this again is where I feel like people fail miserably, truthfully. They have this stemming from their belief system, which is the third one, this idea that stress is normal, burnout is normal. They can push themselves to the brink because all it does is cause them a bad mood or make them feel tired or things that they should be able to recover from, when that is absolutely untrue, that that's the only thing that it does. When we are stressed out and overworking and we do not take time to heal and repair the energetic system, which means taking time away from work or whatever it is that's you're overworking yourself or burning yourself out with, it means taking time away from that. That's when our energetic system heals and repairs. I would like to add into that, scrolling on your phone is not taking time away. That is very counterproductive to calming your energy and allowing it to repair. And this is something that I know people are not going to love, but it's just facts. When you're scrolling, you start to overthink things. Your mental state starts to be activated a little bit more on overdrive, whether you're learning or you're judging silently, or you have emotional responses to what you're looking at. This is exactly the opposite of repairing your energetic system. In fact, this causes strain on your energetic system. So you need to understand that that's also something that you're going to want to be aware of, is how much of that you're doing during your quote unquote downtime,
Yeah.
because you cannot consider that rest and repair if you're going to be scrolling. You just cannot.
It's
So
not. I use it more as like a numbing method of just like, I can't handle anything more. I don't want to think about anything. Just let me scroll through.
a numbing method, a coping mechanism,
Yeah.
a stress reliever, which is just basically redirecting your mind so you're not thinking about things,
Mhm.
which in essence, all of those things is not super awesome, but whatever. So, but it's entertainment.
Yeah.
So if you can minimize the entertainment aspect, like, look at it like you're, watching TV or whatever. If you can use it as an entertainment aspect, but minimize it, because it doesn't have the same effect as TV shows. It doesn't have the same effect as going to the movie. It doesn't. And I know people, again, are not going to love this, but it's true, because the way that your brain and your energetic system engages with social media is entirely different than when you are relaxing and watching a show or a movie or something like that. You have this detachment that's involved. You don't have an emotional aspect that is so heavily involved, and you're not having all these movements as far as your emotional energy is going. So that's really bad. So, not having self awareness when it comes to stress, when it comes to overworking, and when it comes to how you need to rest and heal your energetic system, that's going to be hugely important. And once we heal the frays within our energetic system that are just going to be caused by having a regular work day sometimes, once we do that, then our energy flows properly. It allows a recharge to happen, et cetera, et cetera. But in order to even get to any of the things that I just said, you have to be able to restructure your belief system and understand that there is a lot more than your eye can see. It doesn't just it your reality is not based upon everything that's visual. It's not. It is based upon a lot of things that you cannot see. There are a lot of invisible components that will affect your life and your money flow and your health. And that is energy and its frequency. You don't see that with the naked eye, but it's hugely important when it comes to all the things that we talked about: the money, the happiness, the physical body being healthy. It's hugely important. So restructuring your belief system that encompasses a lot more than your eye can see doesn't just allow you the ability to restructure your energetic system, your health, your spiritual frequency. It expands your knowledge. It expands your consciousness into being able to reach and be guided by a lot more, because you're allowing your belief system the freedom to expand and explore things that don't have a visual component to it. And when you allow that to happen, all kinds of things can happen and start to fall into place.
Yeah. And what about your relationship with money? There's a book that I've read several times, and I thought that it's really great for anybody out there who wants to sort of explore this topic further. It's called Love Money, Money Loves You. And the author actually it's a channeled book. She channeled money and had like
Mhm.
conversations with it. And you hear so much about people saying, like, money is the root of all evil, or treating it like it's, bad, where it's like, no, money wants to be in your life. Money wants to come to you. So it's also, you need to make sure that you've shifted your mindset too about what kind of relationship and how do you view money.
Well, my personal relationship and the way that I would like people to view your relationship with the money is to not focus on it at all, because that's not what anybody really wants anyways. So, what they really want is they want time, they want freedom, they want experiences. And in everybody's current belief system, that's usually paid for with money, because if you need more time, money's in the bank that allows you more time because you have to pay for all of these things. If you want more freedom or experiences for travel, for maybe going out to dinner, that involves typically money. But the focus shouldn't be on money itself. This is where we come full circle back to what I was talking about. Your quality of life and your life experience, you start that from the inside. It starts deep within your soul, deep within your spiritual essence of who you are. That's where everything radiates outward. And if you don't have that straight, your deepest desires of having more freedom, more experiences, things of that nature, they're not going to become fulfilled because you cannot reach the energetic frequency from a low frequency standpoint, meaning negative emotions, fear, worry, frustration, feeling upset. So, again, it starts by fine tuning your frequency and caretaking your frequency. You're in charge of your own frequency. It starts there. Once you do that and you are paying a lot more attention to your personal frequency and you're trying to dial it in as best you can by allowing it the rest and recovery and all the things that I said, then your deepest desires surface. They can now be heard by the universe and universal flow. And within the universal flow can manifest physical things. It can manifest, a trip. It can manifest money for a trip. But
Mhm.
I don't like it when people solely focus on the dollar, because now we're excluding the component of maybe you win a trip.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody invites you on a trip. Now we're excluding other components, right?
Yeah.
Because we're focusing upon that. So in my world and in my teachings, you don't want to view money at all the way that people view money. You want to really be looking for the deepest aspects of the energy, which is time, freedom, happiness, experiences. And you want to fine tune your energetic. You want to allow your deepest desires to be heard by fine tuning your energetic, and then sit back and see what manifests.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully you found that helpful. If you have any questions, thoughts, or um, concerns, I guess, I don't know, you can go ahead and post those below.
And also, if you like today's topic, be sure to give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't
Yeah.
already.
Until next time, have the most amazing day. Aloha. Bye.
Bye.